Good morning and welcome to our coffee talk. My name is Henley McCann and I'm one of the outreach education coordinators here at the Montgomery County Women's Center. We are kicking off Domestic Violence Awareness Month with a coffee talk every Monday morning. So if you want to grab your coffee, and we're going to be talking about what domestic violence is and also the history of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Okay, so to begin, in 1981, it evolved from the Day of Unity observed by the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence. So the intention was to connect advocates across the nation who were working to end domestic violence against women and their children. The Day of Unity soon became an entire week devoted to a range of activities conducted at the local, state, and national levels. The activities conducted were varied and diverse as the program sponsors, but had common themes. So this was mourning those who had died because of domestic violence, celebrating those who have survived, and also connecting those who worked to end violence. So each year, Day of Unity is observed the first Monday of Domestic Violence Awareness Month, which is actually today. So today is Day of Unity. In 1987 of October, the first Domestic Violence Awareness Month was observed. This same year marks the initiation of the first national domestic violence toll-free hotline. And also in 1989, the U.S. Congress passed Public Law 101-112, and this designated October of that year as National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and this tradition has been carried on since. So with Domestic Violence Awareness Month, the awareness color is purple. And so we're going to dive in as to why it is the color purple. So it is associated with royalty, is just a little fun fact. But it became associated with, the color purple became associated with the strength of women in the United States who fought to gain the right to vote in the early part of the 20th century. They chose the colors purple, white, and gold to wear when they petitioned for their cause because these were the colors of the National Women's Party. In July of 1978, more than 100,000 women marched on Washington, D.C. in support of equal rights, and many of them wore purple and lavender. So purple has been associated for many years with women, and this color was selected to promote awareness for the first Domestic Violence Day of Unity in October of 1981. And again, this color has been passed on since. So throughout the month of October, feel free to wear purple and show your support and awareness for domestic violence awareness. So now we're going to talk about what is domestic violence. So domestic violence does not look the same in every relationship because every relationship is different. But one thing most abusive relationships have in common is that the abusive partner does many things to maintain power and control over their partner. So the key thing in domestic violence is gaining and maintaining that power and control in the relationship. In a healthy relationship, there's equality, there's compromise, but when we see an abusive and domestic violence or relationship, one partner has more power and control over the other. So in order to gain and maintain that power and control, there's many different tactics used by the abuser. And so these come in the forms of the types of abuse. So we see physical, emotional. In the emotional abuse, we also see verbal and mental abuse as well. So we kind of wrap that in one. Sexual abuse, financial, and the one that's least talked about is also spiritual abuse. So I'm going to go through each one. So in physical abuse, this is any intentional and unwanted contact with you or something close to your body. Sometimes abusive behavior does not cause pain or even leave a bruise, but it's also still very unhealthy. So some examples include grabbing your face to make you look at them. This is a form of intimidation we see. Throwing something at you or close to your body. So maybe punching the wall next to you, slamming the doors, even just grabbing your phone and throwing it, or really just anything that's not necessarily on your body, but even just close to you. This can also include scratching, punching, biting, strangling, or kicking. A lot of people get confused with strangling or choking. Choking is when you're internally putting something into your airway, and then strangling is anything that is blocking your airway from the outside. So now we're going to dive into emotional. So this can include non-physical behaviors such as threats, insults, constant monitoring or checking in, excessive texting, humiliation, intimidation, isolation, or stalking. So some examples include calling you names and putting you down, gaslighting, and we're actually going to have a separate coffee talk on this topic because the term gaslighting has seemed to become very trendy and used more often now. So we're actually going to dive into this and gain a better understanding of what gaslighting is at a later date in one of our coffee talks. So continue to stay tuned every Monday for that. And even preventing you from seeing or talking with friends and family. And this is a form of isolation that we see by the abusers. So sexual abuse, this refers to any action that pressures or coerces someone to do something sexually that they do not want to do. So really any sexual activity or coercion, really without somebody's consent. So some examples include pressuring or forcing someone to have sex or perform sexual acts, refusing to use condoms or restricting someone's access to birth control, pressuring or forcing someone to take inappropriate and or explicit photos. This kind of ties in with digital abuse as well. So now we're going to dive into financial abuse. So this can be very subtle. It can be telling you what you can and cannot buy or requiring you to share control of your bank accounts. At no point does someone you are dating have the right to use money and or how you spend it to control you. So some examples include giving you an allowance and closely watching what you buy, placing your paycheck in their account and denying you access to it, and also maxing out your credit cards without your permission. So this ultimately leaves you in debt, and this is what we'll see sometimes with our clients that are with us. And also spiritual abuse. So this is any attempt to exert power and control over someone using religion, faith, or their beliefs as spiritual abuse. So it's not limited to one religion, denomination, or group of people. So some examples include preventing their partner from practicing their religious beliefs, forcing their partner to practice their religious or spiritual beliefs, and also using religious beliefs to rationalize or minimize the abusive behavior. So this was just a very quick, brief overview of domestic violence and the history of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. But if you're looking for more resources, feel free to visit our website at www.ncwctx.org. I also have provided the National Domestic Violence Hotline and also our hotline and emergency shelter number and the Houston Area Women's Center number as well. So these are just some resources for you or for anyone you know who may be in a family violence or domestic violence situation. But also, to show your support this month, feel free to register for our trainings. We're having trainings throughout the month. And also, part of what our program does for outreach and education at the Montgomery County Women's Center is myself and my team will go out and do trainings and offer trainings, not just through the month of October, but at any point. So if you are ever interested in more trainings on domestic violence, knowing the signs, looking for the warning signs, all of that sort of stuff, we can always come out and offer a presentation. But some of the presentations that we are offering this month, October 21st from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., we are hosting a webinar via Zoom, and this is talking about the effects of domestic violence on children. Also on October 28th from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., this will be an in-person training. There are more details on our website of both of these trainings to sign up and register for. They're all free. And this training on October 28th, we will be talking about the dynamics of domestic violence. We will hear from someone at CPS, and they will be conducting a CPS overview. We will have someone talking about elder abuse. There will be a simulation activity, and then also we will be talking about domestic violence and strangulation. So this is your way to get involved and show your support this month for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. But other than that, thank you for tuning in and joining our coffee talk this morning. Please feel free to join us for our future coffee talks. We will be having another one next Monday. And with all of that, thanks for listening, and feel free to check out all of our websites and get in for more information. Thank you, guys.